Hello everybody, I'm JayLeonardJ. I got 4 dirt boxes by Acorn Amplification, and we're going to try to figure out which one of these 4 is the real king of the castle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I recommend you find yourself a nice big comfy couch, get yourself a tasty beverage and some Cheetos. Turn up the volume really loud on your speakers because we're going to do a little bit of a shootout today. This is like why I got into this in the first place, you know, like getting different pedals, comparing them against each other, playing with the sounds and tweaking and turning knobs. Oh, this is what I live for. And what we're doing is I got 4 very, very different pedals from a company called Acorn all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. And they all have a very different look and they all sound very, very different. These are their 4 kind of most popular fuzz/drive boxes. And we'll go through all of them and kind of see which one at least I like the most and maybe help you figure out which one would be the right one for your sound. All right, so we're gonna start off right over here. This one over here, the solid state, and this one is kind of like a preamp amp in a box kind of pedal. It's going for the sound of an old PV Decade, which is a PV tiny little practice amp, like 10 water, and has nice, really cool, kind of clean foundation, and then the old school ratty solid state style distortion. So let's see what that sounds like. This is my guitar. I've got a Harmony Comet, and I'm going into an old vintage Fender Deluxe amp. It's like a mid-60s one with no reverb. Really cool amp. So let's turn this pedal on and see what it sounds like. You can see when I'm on, there's 2 modes here. Number 2 is when you have the preamp and the power amp going, and then number 1 is just the preamp. And when I have it on this one with the power amp in it, like it's very loud. Like you see, I barely have the master volume up at all. And it's a lot. Nice crunchy when I really get that pre-up, eh? That solid state rattiness, and if I press this button, I get an extra boost. Let's go to the just the preamp alone. I get a lot more lower gain, so I have to really turn up this. All right, now, this is where things get a little bit crazy here. I could actually mute the out here, and if you notice right here, there's a speaker out. So yes, built into this thing is an actual real 10-watt amplifier. So I have this little cable here, and it's just going into a, it's going into an open back 16 ohm speaker. Well, I'm gonna turn down that volume a little bit. 16 ohm speaker, it's a Celestion Vintage 30. And now, this is not the amp at all. This is literally all the sounds coming out of here and my external speaker. Hear this. Then I could turn both amps on at the same time. That's awesome. That's awesome. And now, instead of just, running them in stereo today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to, for the rest of the video, I'm going to get the sound of just this amplifier. And then for the out, I'm going to put a fully wet reverb signal through it. And that will be my reverb amp. So I have a Space Force reverb. And now... if I remove this, this is just what it sounds like here. So I have a nice little wet, dry signal to go with. This is cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. So let's go move on with the rest of this video here. Let me just make sure. The next amp we're gonna, not the next amp, but the next pedal is this one right over here. This is the TMA-1, and I think this looks really cool. It has like a really cool LED on it. Kind of has like a 2001 HAL kind of vibe going on over here. And what you're gonna hear with this pedal is it's very Big Muff Pie style kind of thing. Only with this, on top of the 3 knobs, you have this, and there's different pairs of clipping diodes. And this is one set, and this is the other set. And you can choose between having no clipping diodes. On the top, we have germaniums, and then on the bottom, we have silicone. And actually, the silicone ones are my favorite sound, like the 2 silicones. So let's just hear what that sounds like. Really nice and dynamic. You see that tone knob does quite a bit. Let's try lifting the clipping on the other side. So we just have silicone and then clip it, no clipping. here's a nice rhythm sound. I go silicone here, and then germanium at the top. That's really nice because it's one of those things that will just completely blend in with the rest of the band. You won't really hear it. You just hear the fullness when you're up there. It's actually a really cool sound. But yeah, for my money, both of these down in silicone is really... All right, now you can hear that's like very thick and very full, really nice for rhythm stuff, for long sustained lines. Let's move on to this one over here. This is called the BWEEP. And actually, in my opinion, this is like the complete opposite of this one. This is kind of a more kind of thin, direct sounding fuzz. And it's a more adjustable with the volume. I feel like there's only two knobs here and they're both on the side, and most of the work you do is actually on your own guitar. Very soloistic kind of pedal. Let's hear it on its own. You know, you can really hear how both of these pedals make me want to play different. This is very dynamic. I haven't even touched any of the knobs. This one wants me to like turn stuff and play with the different clipping. This one really is set and forget. I have it at noon with the gain, and if I turn it up, it's really just, it just starts to crunch on me. But I just like it at noon. Actually, the gain or the volume is almost all the way up. And then, yeah, a fuzz at noon. I think that's exactly where I want to be. Really likes that volume up. But really have to, I actually find it gets brighter as I turn up. So I just kind of counterbalance it with the tone knob. So yeah, really kind of edgy, where this one's more thick and juicy kind of thing. Oh man, lots of cool sounds over here. Let's turn that off and get to our next one, the ADHD. And this one is very, very, very crazy. Let's hear what we have. So that's very synthy would be the sound I would use. And to make sense, this is the most interactive pedal. Like what you do in every scope of this affects something else. And this is what we have. Like if this is a threshold, this is a gate that gets rid of all that extraneous noise that should actually be going on. You can just get it out. But if I actually turn this up, if I play, you can see what the tone knob does. I'll just keep the gate on and you can hear how this changes the tone. So that's like the overall tone, but I'm gonna turn down threshold. What this frequency knob does is it finds my center frequency and changes it. Check it. Now, there is an expression pedal that I can use to control that frequency, but actually I don't have a 100K volume or expression pedal, so I can't really use it, to be honest. Now, the secret sauce here is the balance knob. That's, I start blending in the unoscillated signal, so I can actually make it less synthy if I want and just get a hint of harmonics. Actually nice if you want to have a nice solo and you just want a hint of those crazy frequencies that help you stand out. This is a really nice thing. You actually just keep the balance high, less of that harmonics, but it's just enough to really make you kick. I find the secret to getting really those octavy things, go to your neck pickup. You could even roll down the tone. It really enunciates it. Also, a light touch and a heavy touch makes the thing sound different. So it's a very sensitive unit. It really can come up with so many different sounds, and depending on its mood, it could be a completely different pedal. All right, so they're very, very different pedals. To wrap up, I find that this, again, is the most straight ahead one, because it really is not really a fuzz at all. These ones are very much in that fuzz world. This one's more a versatile unit, because again, you could use it as an amp or you could use it as a pedal, and you have a 3-knob EQ on it. Has like a really ratty sounding distortion sound to it, which I actually find very charming. Like garage rock, punky kind of sound. Really, really fun. And actually, to be honest, when I first plugged this in, I was really, really blown away. On the other side, we have this one, which is, again, more Big Muffy, more full, fat, really girthy. You have different clipping options to kind of give yourself more grunt or more... kind of guess a more edge or more nakedness. The BWEEP, again, I find it more soloistic, more in your face, very sensitive to your, you could clean up with your volume knob. It works well with your tone knob and creates a lot of different textures without having to do any tweaking. And finally, the ADHD, which is just complete chaos in a box. Really fun to tweak around. It gets very synthy. It can get overdrivey. It has a lot of different sounds and a lot of different textures to play with. Very versatile. You know, if I had to pick one of these, I think I would go for this out of its sheer versatility, and I think it sounds very nice as a unit on its own. Keep it in your backpack and use it as a like a little amp on the go, and it has a really fun overdrive distortion sound, which doesn't sound expensive. It sounds cheap and like garbagey and nasty in all the right ways. So that would be my pick. But this one is, oh man, that's really close too. That is a ton of fun to get lost in, and hours of fun. Those would probably be my 2 picks, maybe. Lots of really cool sounds, but I guess my question is, what would your 2 picks be? Or what is your big pick? What's the one that stood out to you? Which is the one that you liked? They're all very, very unique, all very, very different and fun. Super, super, super fun. Oh, what a fun video to make. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the page if you haven't. Check out the links in the description below, and check out my Patreon. If you want to hear my reviews on these things, I do my reviews on Patreon, and then all my demos and tutorials, like all the other videos I make, it's right here on YouTube. And obviously, as I said earlier, my question for all of you is, what is your pick? Why? I'm really curious to hear which is the one that stands out, and I'm really curious to hear what the playback sounds like. I want to hear what these sound like on my speakers when I'm sitting down having my coffee. So that being said, I guess I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.